Feeder University comments. What is up? What's up? Today I got a great topic for y'all. This topic, I wanted to go back in time to share a story that's inspiring to me, and it has a lifelong lesson in it. Something that I was thinking about the other day when I was reflecting back on my life. I always reflecting back on my life to see how I can improve my life. But this story, right? It was way back in like 1988, 1989, and it was this story about this brother named Boom. He was one of the neighborhood drug dealers, right? Where everybody glorified him. He was like every little kid that wanted to be a drug dealer dream. He was the boy. He was the man of the neighborhood. And long before I ever started selling drugs, right? Because I was one of them little kids. I was in the neighborhood stealing bikes, stealing out of stores, breaking into people's houses and stuff like that. But one thing was real attractive to me was this brother named Boom. At the time, I think I was like 11 years old. He was like maybe 22, 23, 24 years old. He was a lot older than me. But I liked his swag, I liked how he was moving in the streets, you know what I'm saying? And how people was, but I didn't know what he was doing at first. I just thought, to be honest, it didn't even matter what he did. I just wanted the attention that he was receiving from the streets. So once I began to study this brother, I realized that he was selling drugs, and that was totally opposite from what I was doing in the streets. And I knew that in order to be a part of that, I had to really study this brother. So I began to study this brother, right? Seeing how he moved in the streets, And I was kind of far off because, to be honest, you really couldn't get close to that type of crowd of people unless you was doing what they was doing, But I would be like hanging around the crowd, on the outskirts. But I was, at the same time, I was observing what these brothers was doing in the streets. And I would see cars pulling up, they jumping in and out of cars, dope fiends, crackheads, they buying, they coming, walking, they coming from everywhere, They buying drugs, and I'm like, wow, like, what is this, And at the time, I remember for the first time, I began to ask questions, on what I had to do to be a part of this, and to be honest, they was like, you gotta get you a bag, you gotta get you a crack sack, But the message in this, long before I ever really got deep into the street life or the game of selling drugs, God was already warning me long before I even realized it, right? Like this brother Boom, right? At the time, I would still continue to steal out of stores and stuff and steal cars or whatever. And around this time, I had got locked up for maybe a week or two or something like that. And when I got back out, Boom went on the block. But it was still other drug dealers selling drugs, And I don't even think I really asked anybody what happened to Boom. So I just knew he wasn't on the block for a minute. And I remember by this time, I had started selling crack, I probably had one or two rocks, I was an amateur, I wasn't even a rookie, I was just straight amateur, trying to figure out how to sell this one rock. And I think it took me probably 2-3 days to sell one rock, So, but the story is this. One day I was standing on the block, right? And I was waiting, for a dope fiend to come up to buy my crack, And Boom pulled up in a car. And I remember when he wasn't driving, somebody else was driving, but the person who was driving got out the car, went to the trunk, opened up the trunk and pulled out a wheelchair and pulled it around on Boom's side and opened the door. Boom got out, I'm like, man, what happened to Boom, And in that moment, God was showing me then but I couldn't grasp the warning of this lifestyle. This is something that occur in this lifestyle. You may get shot, you know. So long story short, I'm not gonna tell the whole story of this brother because, like I said, I always believe in creating books and characters and telling the story through my books. This is gonna be a later project for me that I'm really gonna put a lot of energy in because it's a lifelong lesson for it. But come to find out, Boom had got shot and he was paralyzed from the waist down and he could never walk again. And in that moment, it was, I was like, that was my hero. You know, that was somebody, that was like like a kid look up to LeBron or Kobe. See, that Boom was like a LeBron or Kobe to me in my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? He was like the superstar of the neighborhood. And I was like, yo, what happened to him? You know what I'm saying? It hurted me to hear that he could never walk again. But he was still trapping. He was still selling drugs, you know. And at the time, God was already sending me a warning then, like, these are some of the consequences that you may have to face if you choose to get in the lifestyle of the drugs and selling drugs and being a lifestyle of the streets. So in that story, I just wanted to share that, you know what I'm saying? Because that was a story that I thought about when I was reflecting back over my life, and I'm like, yo, that was a very touching. I don't know where Boom at in this day and time, but I do remember him seeing him maybe 10, 15 years after that. And he was, you know, he was still fly, he was still had his swag, you know what I'm saying? But he lost something that money or drugs could nothing replace that, you know what I'm saying? And that was the lesson in that, you know, like no matter how much money you have, no matter how many cars you have, how much jewelry you have, how much fame you have, losing something that money can't replace, it is devastating, you know. And in that story, that's something that happened to me, you know. Me being shot, you know, I lost something, a vision. I lost my right vision due to the lifestyle of the streets, and can't nothing replace that. No money, can't no money replace that. No matter how many cars I have, how many women, how much fame I have, nothing can replace that. You know, that is priceless, you know. So with that, I just want to share that with y'all, and hopefully y'all continue to watch my videos, you know what I'm saying, continue to email me, send me positive feedback. I love y'all feedback. I love y'all inspirational words to help me to know that I'm continuing to help people all over the world, you know what I'm saying. I get emails from people from other cities, other countries. It's just crazy, you know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate y'all, you know. If y'all have any questions, any feedback or anything you want to know, learn about my life, about the streets, drugs, alcohol, anything, you can email me at graffitiuniversitycomics@gmail.com, or you can go on my Facebook page, Graffiti University Comics. There's a business number you can call. You can call that number. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put it up in the link up on this post. So if you wanted to call, talk, whatever about anything, you can reach out to me. And but other than that, I really appreciate y'all coming to my pages. You know what I'm saying, inspiring me to continue on. And thank for all the people who ever bought my comic books, who continue to buy my comic books. That's priceless. With that, I'll see y'all next time. Stay safe. Love.